Are you a professional pillow fighter? Or a 9-to-5 low-cost time travel agent? Or maybe real estate sales on Mars is your profession? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is you do, however complex or intricate, Monday.com can help you organize, orchestrate, and make it more efficient. Monday.com is the one centralized platform for everything work-related. And with Monday.com, work is just easier. Monday.com, for whatever you run. Go to Monday.com to learn more.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
Well, here we are back at Kill Me Now. I'm here with JJ.
Hi, Judy.
We have a very exciting guest today. Very exciting.
Super exciting.
Going to be a two-parter. It's going to be a two-parter. But I have to say, this is going to air next week. So they're going to vote on Kavanaugh on Friday.
Shame. They shouldn't.
And by the way, we record right next to the Yale Club. And apparently, JJ said...
He's here today. That's what I was told.
Really?
Brett Kavanaugh next door right now.
First of all, you know what's pissing me off? The fact that he can act like a fucking spoiled brat screaming like, I worked really hard!
Yeah.
And get away.
Yeah, your mom was a judge. And
Right.
You went to the best schools.
Right.
And, just stop being a whiner.
I know. He is a fucking whiner. I'm going to go to Hollywood and be like, I went out every night and did sets, and I wrote jokes, and I wrote one-woman shows, and I deserve to be on a sitcom. That's what I'm going to do.
That should work.
Hasn't worked yet. So
But
that's been really pissing me off.
Yeah, no, I think it's pissing a lot of people off.
Right, but how do they get
like...
away? How do they fucking get away with this shit? Like, I can't And the way Trump talked to that female reporter?
Awful. The whole thing is terrible.
And Lindsey Graham's
And look, I'm in the camp that believes he is guilty. And
yes, I am too.
If not of that, then of plenty of other things.
Right.
Mostly being a dick.
Right.
But he handled the thing so poorly. Right. Whatever strategy he was given, I guess it works for some people.
He was given the Donald Trump
exactly,
strategy.
but it doesn't. Wouldn't it have been better? Certainly in hindsight, but he could have had the foresight to have seen this. When they brought up all this bullshit about the yearbook, why didn't he just say, you know what?
I was an asshole.
I was an asshole at 16. Thank God I've changed. But,
right.
Yes, I put in a bunch of stuff so I would sound cool because
right.
everybody else was doing it. I mean, I never had sex. I didn't do these things.
I don't believe that.
But I was a moron, and everybody's a moron at 16.
I mean, and like to lie
Instead,
about
he lied.
A devil's triangle.
Right.
And boffing.
Right. The best is Ralphing.
Oh, and Ralphing. Yeah,
I have a very spicy food upsets my
spicy
tummy.
food. And if you watch the Devil's Triangle question, you can see him making up the lie in his head because he doesn't say anything and he goes, drinking game. Do you ever play quarters? I'm like, I never heard of fucking Devil's Triangle drinking game.
And you've played them all.
Shut up. It's starting to really like have I know friends of mine who can't sleep. Because of this shit. Because of these...
Because could potentially be on the Supreme Court. It's an important position. I mean, it's going to affect people's lives. He will affect people's lives.
All right, let's say he's innocent.
Like Ted Cruz might not affect my life. This guy, if he gets a seat on the Supreme Court, there's a good chance he will.
Okay. If we take away all the yearbook shit and all that shit, his temperament and the way he spoke to Amy Klobuchar... And
now we know he's partisan. I mean,
right, and he did that whole fucking diatribe about the Clintons and everything. He's a fucking white, entitled, spoiled fucking brat. He has those broken blood vessels on his fucking face.
There's no way. Someone's got to stop this guy. Plus, if he gets on, don't you think just more shit's going to come out and they're going to have to impeach this guy? I mean,
yeah, and then they have to go through all that shit.
All that shit. It'd be never ending.
And I hate Donald Trump Jr. He's such a greaseball fuckface. I hate them all. They have to go.
I think they will.
All right, but we'll already know shit by the time this airs. All right, are you ready for the guest?
No. What else should we talk about?
You're an asshole.
Yeah, we can bring in the guest.
All right. Can't wait.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Today's guest,
Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Stritch.
Billy Stritch is here.
God, how did you get him?
Oh, he is. Billy, I fucking love you.
I love you.
fucking love you. I fucking love you. You're so fucking talented.
Well, I love you beyond the fact that you're fucking talented.
Oh, no,
too.
you're beyond.
I would love you even if you weren't talented.
Oh, honey. So JJ, we were just in P-Town this summer, and we sat because you were playing for Marilyn May.
I was.
Who I did a podcast with.
I know.
And we're sitting at the bar afterwards, and we just started fucking cracking up like we were fucking like 9 years old.
Truly.
And realized that we would have been best friends in high school.
What were you drinking?
What?
What were you drinking?
Martinis.
Ooh. Oh, sure. Just like high school.
All right, can I just say something? I'm sick.
Pros.
You got.
Get
over.
in on the mic.
Take that fucking thing off.
Yeah, take this windscreen
Okay.
off.
All right.
There we are.
There you go.
Here's the thing that I've decided about vodka. You know, I like potato vodka,
Okay. You
like
can-
Chopin.
Chopin.
You know, because it's smooth, right? Everyone loves Tito's. I mean, I like Tito's, but it's not like it's corn. And they're like, oh, I'm like, do you have any potato vodka? And they're always like, no, we have Tito's. I'm like, it's corn. Learn your fucking vodkas.
Learn your grains.
Agreed. Belvedere. I'm a Belvedere guy.
You are?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a Grey Goose guy.
You are.
I am. But remember when Kettle One was like
Yes.
the new one? That
Kettle
came, like,
One. Why do you like Grey Goose?
I just like the taste of it. You know, if I'm going to drink it straight in a martini.
That's what I drink.
I like Grey Goose.
But
We should do
I-
a taste
I don't
test.
know why.
We should have a martini taste test.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my friend Kate, Moira Ryan, who
love
does
her.
not drink anymore.
I love her.
Yeah.
I met her in Provincetown
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
So she taught me all about vodka before she stopped drinking.
Is she
and
still fun, even though she doesn't drink?
yeah, she really is.
Good.
Like she's one of those people who, like, she doesn't care if you drink or she never says
Isn't that
anything.
so hip?
She wasn't good when she was not good when she was drinking. I was always like, oh fuck, she's gonna start.
She's-
You know, she was one of those people that
She would get like confrontational.
and it was like, no, you, and I was
never
like,
said
no,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I couldn't.
Yeah.
But she taught me all about vodka, and so now I love potato.
Hey, Potato, where are you from?
Potato!
Girl? Where are you from?
So Billy Stritch, for our listeners, he's a fucking musical genius. I mean, you're a prodigy. You are a prodigy.
I don't think you could be a prodigy at age 56.
Yes, you were a prodigy. You're a Grammy winner. I mean, you've worked with every fucking singer ever, pretty much.
A lot of them. Yeah.
You grew up in Texas.
I did.
Texas.
Texas.
Wait, I have it down. Sugarland.
Correct.
What is Sugar?
Sugarland.
Oh, Sugarland.
Sugarland. It's very British. Sugarland.
What was Sugarland?
Sugarland,
like?
a very small town when I grew up there. It's called Sugarland because the Imperial Sugar Company was based there. Yeah. Not anymore.
Domino's was my sugar.
Right, of course. Domino's was our competitor, our hated competitor.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you all buy Sugarland shit? Did your
Yeah.
father work
Oh,
for Sugarland?
He didn't, but most of the people in the town worked
So
for
that was like the big
industry.
So
there.
like Trump would have been there, like, oh, the Sugarland employees were going to tariffs.
exactly. Yeah, we're building a new plant next year.
Sugarland's coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
coal and
so-
Sugarland.
So, P.S., Sugarland when I was growing up was 3,000 people. And
Right.
it's like 20 minutes away from downtown Houston, so it was like a little
Oh,
schlep
you
to
say
get there.
Houston. You say Houston.
Yeah, with a Y. Houston.
Okay.
And now it's 85,000 people. It is really
Wow.
huge. And it's like been swallowed up by Houston. So
By
I go-
Houston?
By Houston. And whenever I go down there now, it's like totally different from the way it was when I grew up there.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Really riveting.
So you have an older sister.
I have two older sisters.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Good research.
Yeah.
JJ, shut the fuck up.
Okay.
And I have a brother, too.
You do?
I have a- I
He's
have a
never mentioned in
We don't
anything.
talk about him.
Why?
No, I'm kidding. kidding.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well,
so what number are you out of the 4?
I am 3 out of 4.
Really?
Yep.
Are you the only gay?
Yep.
Wow.
I have nieces. I have a niece that's gay.
And that's from you.
It's totally from me.
Right.
Sure.
And
sure.
whose kid is that?
That is my oldest sister's kid.
Is she pissed?
I don't think so. I mean, she might be. I don't know. I don't talk to her that much. She's she's pretty hip.
Really?
Yeah. She lives in Austin, so you.
Oh, Austin's
that's,
good.
That's
Yeah,
the hippest
yeah.
place in Texas.
Yeah.
It is.
So
It
wait,
totally
where do
is.
the other 2 live?
The other 2, my siblings.
Yeah.
Oh, they all 3 of my siblings live in Sugarland. So everybody lives in Texas.
You just
still.
said you're.
The nieces live in Houston. In
Oh.
Austin. Yes.
But they all stayed in
Everyone's in
Sugarland.
Texas. Yeah, they all stayed there. Are you telling me
Oh
to smile?
my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, everybody's still there. I'm the only one that got out.
So what did your parents do? Was your mother a housewife and your
Yes, my mother was a housewife, and by the time that we got old enough, she took odd jobs. She was a bus driver for a while.
No way.
Substitute teacher for a long time.
Wait, she was which bus? The big or the small? The-
School bus,
Oh, right.
big yellow school
with
bus.
the fuck when you did the thing with your
Yeah.
arm.
Oh yeah, totally. She had that down. My mom's really like tennis player, athletic.
Really? So
Yeah.
she's the lesbian in the
She's-
family.
I hope she never hears this, but yeah,
She is the gay.
she really
because it's genetic.
It's genetic.
Do you think they had a
absolutely.
lot of sex? Your parents?
I don't imagine.
Right,
they
because
had-
she's a lesbian.
They had well, I just
Tennis
don't
bus
think-
driver.
Yeah, they got married so young, and I think that was it.
Right.
And they had
Did she ever
kids.
have like a best girlfriend who used to come over all the time?
No. Tennis buddies. Oh, she
Yeah.
had
Oh, yeah.
women on the tennis league.
Yeah.
And when I was starting with my vocal group
Right.
in the 80s, we worked at a gay bar in
Right.
Houston. And every now and then I would see some of these tennis
No,
ladies
the tennis
come in.
ladies?
We
Nice.
played tennis with
Nice.
your mom and everything. And then at one point I said, your friends Judy and whatever,
Yeah.
Betty came in to see it. Now, why did they come in there? I'm like, well, she just didn't get it.
Right.
She couldn't get it that some of these women were gay.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And what about your father? What did he do?
He and his mother, my grandmother,
Yeah.
owned bookstores, retail bookstores.
Really?
Yeah, in Houston.
Houston.
In Houston. Yes, when I was growing up, that was really cool because I would work in the summer times
At the bookstore?
stocking
And you got to
books.
read
Got
and-
to read all the time.
Was he a big reader?
He was a pretty big reader. My grandmother really was a
Right.
big reader, and they did that for about 20 years until the big chain stores came in, like
And
Barnes
fucked
Noble.
everything up. What was the
Beef-
name of the bookstore?
Bookland.
Oh.
Sweet. It was sweet. You would have liked
Bookland
it.
and Sugarland.
Bookland.
Oh, nice, JJ.
Yeah, nice.
Good job.
You see how
Notice
we
how
put
I
that
haven't
together?
rang the Jew bell once. This is so gayish, this fucking podcast.
I'm
this
telling
week,
you, it's
because
very
it's Sugarland
very
and
Presbyterian.
Bookland.
Yes,
yeah.
Bookland. Bookland.
I only get a half ring.
Do you?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
half
only
Jewish.
his it's
Got
only
it.
his mother.
How do you? Yeah, never mind.
And he doesn't do anything. So, did you have a piano in the house?
Yes, piano in the house.
So you had a culture. I mean, even though you were in Sugarland,
Yes.
it was
There was
culture
music.
in your home.
Not necessarily, because my parents weren't musical at all.
Right.
There was an old upright piano that was my mom's.
Right.
And so luckily,
Lesbian.
Right.
We should have a lesbian bell. Yeah, go ahead.
So when I was three and four, my earliest memories are of like sitting at the piano
Right.
and like banging on the piano.
Right.
And then when I got old enough, I could like start to figure out little melodies,
Right.
and play little things. And so when I was about 6, 7, I started taking piano lessons.
For who was your first piano teacher?
Mr. Schwalbe. German.
Wow.
German.
Mr.
Like
Schwalbe.
Mr. Schwalbe.
Really?
How old do you think he was?
How old was he at the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure he probably was 50, but he seemed ancient.
Right.
At the time. Yeah. Really.
Wait, did he come to your house?
No, we went to his house.
Where did he live in Sugarland?
Sugarland. He lived in the old part of Sugarland, and he worked also for the Sugarland Industries. But
Right.
he taught kids in the neighborhood.
Did he have an accent like
You know.
that kind of?
Yes, old Germanic. He
Was
was
he?
like from,
What was he married?
he was married
Was
To
he-
a woman?
to a woman.
Was he not?
Did he have any? Was he Nazi?
That's worth the bell. if
I know,
ever heard.
right.
Yeah.
I really hit that bell.
I
on
don't
that
know.
one.
I
the Nazi.
don't think so. He was just musical. That was
Right.
Yeah.
Did he want you to play like Wagner all the time?
Yeah,
And
I had to practice and fingering and
Yeah,
do all this-
fingering.
well,
That's
yeah,
good.
And
that didn't come in handy
he
at the
taught-
end. The fingering.
no,
Get it? Get it,
I
ladies?
get it.
All right.
We
Wait.
all get it.
What are you
Judy.
talking about?
Yeah, what?
Fingering.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so Mr. Schwabling,
Mr. Schwalbe.
Schwabe.
Schwa-
And did he have kids, Mr. Schwabe?
He had one daughter, and he taught, this is the thing. I can't believe I'm saying this, but he liked, there was a girl he was teaching, and I found out about this later. He would kind of Mr. Copperfield a little bit.
No way.
Like elbow him and like try to straighten their posture up and all that stuff. And I realized he never did that with the boys. He was like, but so
you think he was a pedophile?
I think maybe a little. Bit.
Elisa, my girlfriend, says pedophile, and it fucking drives me crazy.
That would drive me crazy too.
And she's a
I think
therapist.
that's like the British spell, like PAE.
Yeah,
right.
pedophile. I'm like, Elisa, it's not pedophile. It's pedophile.
Pedophile. Yeah, I think you're right, Judy.
And then she goes, oh, okay. And then 2 minutes later goes, and pedophile. And I'm like, fuck you. All right,
That would make me, I would leave her for that.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't even be with her anymore. Yeah.
All right, so you went to Mr. Schlag,
Yep, him.
and you went once a week, right? Because
Once a
I had
week.
piano lessons too with
Once a
Mrs.
week.
Shallett.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm going to tell a story.
Yeah.
I got my period.
Yeah. On the piano bench.
No, well, I got my period. I came home from my piano lesson and realized, I got my period. And then and then I said to my mother, oh my God, and I was wearing white painter's pants because remember painter's pants and
sure, of course, yeah.
And I said to my mother, I got my period, and I swear to God, this is what she said. Judith. I think you should call Mrs. Shallett to see if you got anything on the bench. I was like,
not.
I swear to God.
And not call.
I then I wrote a joke about that later in my act, like, "Hey, Mrs. Shallett, I love doing the scales. Listen, I just got my period. Just wondering, was there any blood on the bench?"
I'll be right over. Yeah, what were you supposed to do?
I know, right?
Sweet. That's wow.
Yeah. All right.
You
So go
cannot
ahead.
hear that story.
Okay. So, Mr. Schlalling. So all right. So what day do you remember? You went once a week.
Once a week. Yeah.
And
After
for
school,
half an hour. I remember my lessons were half an hour.
Half an hour. That was it. Half an hour.
And then did you practice?
I did not practice so much. My sisters, who were both older, took lessons and they practiced.
With
And
Mr. Schlalling?
Yeah. And then like a year or two, then we would always have spring recital.
No way. I never had a recital.
Oh, yeah. He was cool because they rented out a event, like an old house in Houston that was called Milford House.
Right.
And it was every spring, and in the afternoon it would be the young kids, and in the evening it would be all the teenagers and adults, And it was really fancy, I remember. Well, within like 2 years, I was playing the advanced stuff.
Right.
And I had passed my older sisters.
Were they
up.
annoyed with you?
Totally annoyed. I mean, they were like, Mom, make him stop. He's playing my recital song, and he should be working on his own. It's like, it's
Fuck
so
you.
easy. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So they both quit. They didn't stay with it very long.
Wow.
And then I went away from him and started with other teachers because by that point I was
Mr. Schlalling wasn't,
I mean, he couldn't. He was totally by the book. And I was starting to kind of play by ear. He would play something, and I would kind of play it back. That made him mad because I don't think he could even do that. You know what I'm saying? It was like he finally was like, Mrs. Stritch, I cannot teach your son anymore. He does not. I cannot. I'm like, okay, bye. So they found another teacher for me.
So who was the next one?
His name was Ron Wilson, and he actually got the, I know, right? But that's what his name. I haven't thought about it.
Ron Wilson. Yeah.
Ron Wilson, and he was like a jazz pianist.
Right.
And so he could teach me how to read chords on the page.
Oh, that's what I never learned that I really wanted to. Yeah.
That was the next step for me. How to read what they call a lead sheet.
Yes, lead sheet.
The vocal line, the melody line, and then it says G7 or D7 or whatever.
Right.
And he explained to me what that meant and how to execute that on the piano. Was a real turning point for me.
So G, B, D, F sharp.
That's right. Every good boy does fine.
Yes.
Yeah. FACE, face.
Yes, face.
All those things.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden the lights started to go on, and the whole mechanism of music and how it's built, the building blocks of all that, started to, become clear to me. And
were your parents like, oh my, I think.
Yeah.
I think Billy
because by the time I was 12, I was playing in talent shows.
I know. That's what. All right. So you played. You played at the church.
I did. Well, I played in church.
Right.
Absolutely. The early service.
Like, what were some of the, what was the song?
Well, I played there was a 11 o'clock service that was like more formal with the organist. And then there was the 8:30 service, which was like more contemporary and kind of
Right.
folk.
Right.
Yeah. And so I played that service, and it
with
was
other
like.
musicians, just you.
Just me. Every now and then we would have like, a choir that would come in, or maybe someone play guitar,
right?
Something like that. It was much more kumbaya kind of thing.
And then did you stand like when they leave the church? Did
Yeah.
you stand there with the the parishioners? I mean are they priests?
No, they're preachers.
The preacher,
reverend.
The reverend. Would you how they stand outside and say goodbye?
And say goodbye. I didn't do that. No,
Right.
I played while people were leaving. See,
right.
That's
good. That's good. You don't have to talk to anyone.
Yeah, it's right. The postlude is what it's called. The prelude and the postlude.
Right.
So I played everybody out, but I was like the little star of the church, and my family.
Did your sisters want to fucking kill you?
By that point, yes.
And what about your brother?
He had just kind of come along at that point. He's 10 years younger than I am.
Oh, wow. He's a
adopted.
mistake.
He's adopted, so not a mistake. But
same thing.
Yeah, right. So when I was like 12,
Wait, you got an adopted son?
Yeah.
I mean, a brother?
Yeah.
How did they tell you that?
I mean, I was old enough to get it by that point. And
Were you
I was
like,
kind of into it.
That's so cool that your parents did that.
I think so too. I think they
I love them. Your mother's total lesbian.
I think they probably wanted to have another naturally and probably couldn't.
Right, because she's a lesbian. Sorry.
I will not be telling her to listen.
All right,
to that.
sorry.
Yeah. So I think that's how that came about. And
And what's his name?
My mom always said, "Oh, you always talked about wanting a little brother." And I don't really remember that.
Right.
But I guess it was good
you just wanted a little
His
playmate.
name is Steve. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah. So
Are you close with Steve?
Not that close, because there's a big age difference.
Right.
And, I don't live there anymore.
Right.
So
he's in Sugarland?
He's in Sugarland.
Wow.
What is in the church that was in Sugarland?
Yeah, the one I went to?
Yes. Is it now like a mega church?
It's not.
It's not.
It stayed pretty calm. The one across the street was the Methodist church.
Oh.
They got bigger and bigger and built a new, and it's like, that's a big kind of mega church. Not like Joel Osteen's mega church. Not like that.
Right.
But the Presbyterian churches stayed pretty true to their roots. My grandmother was one of the founders of that.
No
church
way.
In 1920.
Wow.
So it's.
By the way, that's the year women were granted the right to vote.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
And
Good night.
what year do you think it'll be taken away from?
I'm going to go with 2018, end
Okay.
of 2000.
So 100-year run. 100
yeah.
years, that was good.
This week's episode of It's Judy's Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself, you can process, and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, it was so annoying. You have to do it, and you sit there and you wait, and then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to BetterHelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is Gratitude Month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JudyGold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome.
So, and you knew you were gay, or you didn't?
I kind of did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so was that weird that you're in the church? You're like, I'm a little homo.
I'm a little
homo, short and stout.
I was. Here is my sandal.
But this Presbyterian is not they don't do the
They're not
pedophile.
They're not judgy.
pedophiles.
They're not. Yeah, it was very accepting.
That's
very,
Catholic.
No talking in tongues. None of that either.
None of that. No confession.
Did you go to church?
I went to Methodist church when there was church, but church didn't really work for my family. Certainly didn't work for me.
Right.
Or your mother, who's a Jew.
Well, that was part of the reason it didn't work for my family.
Okay.
What I liked about church when I got to be a teenager is there was like the youth group, PYS.
Right, because you could touch
Fellowship.
little balls and stuff.
A little bit, and campouts. We'd go on camping trips and everything, and it was kind of fun because it was more fun to me than school than actual school.
Right.
Because I liked this group of kids.
Right.
That was kind of fun.
Oh my
and
God,
we'd
I
have
love that. So, all right. So then you play. They love
touch
you,
balls
and
nice.
Then you play at the local country club.
I do.
What was the name of the country
Quail
club?
Valley Country Club, Quail Valley Golf Club.
So was this like where Lindsey Graham would go, and
I don't think
Chuck
so.
Grassley and all those fucking
No,
white?
it wasn't
What
like
was
that.
it like?
When I started playing there, I think I was 14, maybe, and I started playing happy hour in the bar, and it was 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and I couldn't drive at that point, so my mom would pick me up from school at 3:40 and bring my work clothes, and I'd get in the back seat and I'd like change into my little tie, I had like several outfits, drop me off. And it was cool because I normally played for these lady golfers who would come in and play golf.
Lesbians.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They would come in every day, and that's where I really learned the value of learning songs because they were going, play Scotch and Soda, play all this stuff.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know it. And they would I remember one lady named Polly Holiday, not Polly Robinson. Polly Holiday's an actress.
Right.
And she was always trying to get me to learn new songs, and when I would learn them, they would put money in the tip jar.
Oh,
so it's like, this
that's how I
music
make
thing
money.
is cool.
But were they allowed to pay you at the country club even though you were 14?
Yes.
All right.
I worked 15 hours a week and made $10 an hour.
Wow.
I got a check for $150 every week. Can you believe?
Awesome.
Oh my God! In the 1970s,
1976, 77,
that's a
78.
lot.
It's a lot. I bought my first electric piano from that. I mean, I really saved money.
Your sisters must have fucking hated you at this point.
I bought a grand piano.
Wow.
I went and picked it out, and I financed it and everything, and paid it off over 3 years, and it's still in my parents' house. So
Wow.
my sisters hated me. I just
Fuck
streaked
them.
right ahead.
So,
That's
so
not
you're
true.
did anyone try to sexually do anything at the country club?
No, not at all.
Wow.
No, unless I buried it so far
Right,
down.
right.
Yeah.
Did
No.
anyone? All right. So then your older sister loved Billy Joel and Elton John. So she got you into that kind of.
Well, it was Elton John. Christmas, I think 1973. Both of my sisters gave me Elton John's Honky Chateau.
Oh yeah.
You'll like this, and
Right.
I did like it.
Right.
And I liked the fact that he played and sang.
Right.
And then when I was in high school, you and I saying we're kind of the same age. Billy Joel was big.
Yes, very big.
And also Barry Manilow, I have to say.
I forgot both
I
Billy
loved
and
him,
Barry.
and of course at that point it was like he's so gay. You can't love
Right.
Barry
Oh my
barely
God,
man
I loved-
enough.
I
you know, all that
still-
stuff.
I still love
Loved
him.
I still love him too. You know, I know him. I'm sure you've met
Oh,
him.
yeah,
too.
yeah.
He's like totally great.
But what about like Weekend in New England? I mean, like
it's
they're
all
just fucking
fantastic.
great songs.
Still great stuff. I mean, it's just great. I went to a concert of his a couple of years ago at Barclays Center, and it's like hit after hit.
Oh, I
after
know.
hit
I
after
went
hit.
to I went
You
to
don't
one in New
realize,
York.
Oh my God,
it
it's
was
like
great.
35 number one hits.
But don't you feel like so old when you go to that concert?
No.
Oh.
Because you're surrounded by
Yeah,
people
everyone's
who
the same
everyone's the same age. Everyone's
Yeah, that's
so
true.
into it.
And I go, oh my God, we're so
You know,
old.
and I remember talking to him afterwards. I said, because some of the people are, especially the women,
Right.
You know,
Oh,
running
they
up
go
front of
fucking
theirs.
crazy.
You know what I said? Doesn't it drive you crazy? And he said, no. He said, those are my people. They love me. He has got such a good attitude about
I know.
it. He looks
Why
forward
did it
to
take him so long to come out? I guess it's that age thing.
It's that age, I think. You know, and I think probably it
That
would not have been
generation.
easy for him to come out, certainly when he became big.
Right.
And then later, maybe he thought he would disappoint people. I don't know. And then finally he got to a point where he's like, fuck it. I've been with Gary for 39
Right.
years. And,
Is Gary Jewish?
Gary Keefe, maybe
No.
so? K-I-E-F?
Irish? I don't know.
Maybe.
Queef?
Sweet. Nice.
Gary Queef. All right. So
Yeah.
then you go to college.
Yes. Barely. Went to college. I went to North Texas State University for like a semester and a half.
Really? That's it?
That's it.
Were you going to study music?
I was there to study music. It's a huge, big music school.
Right.
And it was like a big jazz music school. And I get there and I'm ready to like be the star. And
right.
It was like, well, there's also 1,800 other music students that are ready to be the star.
No way.
So it was overwhelming to me.
But were they good?
Yeah. And they were from all over the country.
Right.
And they were good. And I really felt kind of overwhelmed by that. But it was very social. I liked living away from home finally.
Right.
In the dorm.
But were you popular in high school? Like, did you have a good high school?
Yeah.
And you were in the marching band.
Music. In the marching band. I was in the marching band, in the stage band, which was like a big band.
Yeah. And no one ever like called you faggoty fag? Or...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They did?
I got that.
Did you ever get have a boyfriend there? Or?
Yeah, I had guys I fooled around with.
Really? Are they straight?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's one who I doubt is. But
like football players and stuff?
Not football players, but
right.
you know.
I thought everyone in Texas was a football player.
Well, not almost, but not quite. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, there were a couple guys that fooled around.
Mm-hmm. And then you go to you're at this college and you're like, oh my God, I'm not because
it was like in the dorm there was one whole wing of the dorm that was like the guys in drama.
Right.
Well, it was like
you must have gotten laid.
Flaming.
Yeah.
It was like that's the first time I had really hung around effeminate guys who were like the same age.
Right.
I'd always heard about older.
Right.
So that was an eye opener for me.
Right.
And I started hanging out really with the drama kids and like playing for productions and stuff like that. Not going to my music classes, not doing any of that, not going to history, any of that stuff. So I flunked out the first semester, and I was flunking out the second semester pretty bad.
Right.
And unfortunately, my oldest sister got into a really bad car accident. I'm going to bring it down right now. She got in a car accident. She was in a coma for about a week.
Right.
And then, she happy ending, she was fine. But when that happened, my mom called and said, "This is what's happened. You should just come home. We need you. We need you to be home." Because I wasn't having success. In college.
Right.
So I remember packing up my stuff at night, putting it all in my car, and driving home in the middle of the night.
No way.
Yeah, it was.
That's very dramatic.
Very dramatic. It's like a great scene in my movie.
I know. Yeah. Wow. And did you have a roommate that you had to say, "I'm leaving"?
Yeah, but I hated him.
Fuck him.
We hardly ever talked.
Was he in the music program?
Yeah.
What's he doing now?
I have no
idea. He's a fucking asshole. His name's Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah, I never saw him again.
Is his name Mark Judge? All right, so.
Yeah, no.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you leave.
I leave.
You have to deal with your sister.
Yeah, deal with the sister. But I kind of jumped right into the music scene in Houston at that point. And started looking for Houston.
But what about Montgomery, Plant, and Stritch?
That came a few years later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that came
change that
2 or 3 years.
fucking whatever the hell.
Well,
okay, so then.
Well, I'll tell you how that came about.
Yeah.
The next semester, I enrolled at University of Houston.
You're right.
And I kind of gravitated toward the drama department because that's what I realized that I loved was musicals and show tunes and all that kind of stuff. And gay guys. And that's where I met the 2 girls that I started that group with. And at the time, it was a girl named Sharon Montgomery. Still is a girl named Sharon Montgomery. And Sally Mays, who you might know.
Oh, I know Sally Mays.
So that's how we met. And we formed a group called Montgomery, Mays, and Stritch.
Right.
And we started working in this club in Houston called Rascals, which is the gay bar.
Oh, yeah. They're all called. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And this is like 1982.
Right.
And
do you have Brett Kavanaugh's calendar?
A huge hit. We became a big deal.
And they were just music students?
Drama
students.
Yeah. How that came about is there was a cast. One of them, Sharon, gave a party for the drama kids at her. She was living she was already living with her boyfriend in a house they rented. So it was like real adults, And everybody and the 3 of us got up and sang Lullaby of Broadway, and we each found our
your
harmony.
own thing.
And I was like, holy shit, as it was happening, oh my God, we sound good
We
together.
are the Andrews sisters.
And we learned 3 songs. We went to this club called Rascals. They said, we have an opening in 2 weeks. We had 2 weeks to put together 3 hours worth of material.
No way.
3 hours.
About 3 hours.
So what'd you do? Just like gay show tunes?
Woodshedded, Best Little Whorehouse in Texas medley. A Little Shop of Horrors medley.
Right.
And all this Andrews Sisters.
And you were accompanying and singing?
Accompanying and singing. And they were standing and singing.
So did you get more money for accompanying and singing?
3-way split.
Wow.
I should have.
I know.
Were you
I never
working
did.
on things like banter at this point?
Oh yeah.
Or you're
Well,
doing
the
full-
banter just came naturally. They were funny. And,
That's great.
and I was kind of the straight man.
Hey now.
But after a while, I was funny too.
Right.
I mean, it opened. All of a sudden, it was like the rush of that laughter and that applause.
Right.
It was like the light came on.
I'm still chasing it,
I'm
baby.
telling you, I never looked back. That
So
was
did you
like
graduate from that college?
Never. I was there for a year again, 1 year, and then
Wow.
then I was Then we were working all the
Right.
time.
Did they stay in college?
We were working in Dallas. We were
Right.
working in Little Rock, Arkansas.
So they didn't graduate either?
No, neither one of them.
You're a
did.
horrible,
And we
horrible
came to New
influence.
York and did a gig at the Duplex.
Right.
And then Don't Tell Mama.
What year was this?
82.
Wow.
82, 80/83.
Right.
Somehow we got a gig working summers in Newport, Rhode Island.
Wow.
There, so
And
we
you
were
lived
working.
there?
We went there for like a month. And
Wow.
worked and stayed at friends'
You're
houses
living
up
the
there.
life.
We were living the life, I have to say. We were really, and I had enough money to get my own apartment.
Right.
And so it was like life was starting, and it was great. And,
Okay.
Yes.
So then how did you guys break up?
Well, Sally left the group after about a year and a half. And then we found another girl named Rebecca Plant. And so we had 7 years as Montgomery, Plant, and Stritch.
I like that.
Yeah. And from that point, we got a manager here in New York. We worked the Algonquin all the time. We worked the Cafe Carlisle
Right.
a couple times. We did jazz festivals in
Wow.
Europe. We did Carnegie Hall twice.
Wow.
I mean, we were together 7 years until we realized that we couldn't get a recording contract. We wanted
Right.
to be like the next Manhattan Transfer.
Right.
That kind of stuff. And that we couldn't quite break through that.
Now, when you were with them, were you doing other gigs too?
No, it was just that. We were working all the time. And I was
Wow.
just doing that. I wasn't working for, with anyone else. I had done some gigs with Marilyn May early
Yes.
on, and so I've known her forever.
Right.
But once I started working with this trio.
I
that
know
was
she
it.
said she saw you when you were like a teenager.
17. Yeah, 17.
What kind of crowds are in those rooms back in those days? Like, who's coming out to see? Is it older people? It's people.
It was everything.
It was everything.
Absolutely.
So the cabaret. It was. Smoke is everywhere.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Totally. Well,
That was
especially
like-
in the gay ones. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
like they were standing 6 deep at the bar. There was like maybe 8 tables in the room. It was tiny. Smoke everywhere.
Oh, please. I used to go on the road and I'd come home and I'd open my suitcase.
Just smoke would come out. Absolutely.
It was ridiculous.
I mean, neither one of the girls smoked, and they were always complaining. It
Oh,
was in
yeah.
their clothes and everything.
Yeah.
I smoked, so it was.
yeah.
Like,
Why do you still smoke?
Shut up. We're not going to talk about that.
All right.
We said you told me you wouldn't mention that.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So how did you, now you ended up playing with Mel Torme.
We opened for Mel Torme in 1988.
Right.
At Carnegie Hall. Yes.
Aren't you freaking out?
Yeah. Oh, totally freaking out. That was
Like-
great because he was an idol of mine,
Uh-huh.
of course, and we got this chance to open for him, and my whole family came up.
Oh, really? Even
Yeah.
your sisters?
My sisters, my parents, my little brother, my grandmother, who I adored.
Oh.
She was the best, and at that point she was 80 something,
Right.
And she
They must
loved
have
it.
been like, Billy is playing at Carnegie. Well, not as
Yeah.
Jews.
Not-
Billy's
not-
playing at Carnegie Hall.
That's right.
We're
got
all
to go
going up to
Carnegie Hall.
I was at the church the other day, and I said, Bill's playing at Carnegie Hall.
That's right. That's what it was like. That was what it was like.
Don't forget to tune in next week to Just Kill Me Now.
It's Just Kill Me.
Oh. Don't forget to turn for part 2 on Just Kill Me.
No, it's not. It's
Just Kill Me.
No.
Judy Gold's Just Kill Me. Just Kill Me Now.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.